Good evening, everybody from sunny humidity California, home state to the governor Nuisance, whatever his name is. Anywho, my name is David Stanley, full-time Apache helicopter, part-time comedian. Folks, this is not going to be your usual video of me giving you the breakdown of Mikey. That's another video I can do down the line here in a couple of days once I have all the stuff put together, what I have information-wise. It's going to be a top level, 5,000 foot level kind of thing. Let's talk about farmers. What do you consider yourself to be? What are you? If you had a profession to pick, would you be a farmer? Well, yes. Now, when I mean that, farmers do what? They plant their seeds, they sow their seeds, and they get harvest out of it, right? So imagine this. You're looking at a situation where you want to harvest and reap what you sow. Well, what do we reap as Americans, right? We're so caught up with Kardashians, Twitter sphere, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm on a social media platform right now. I'm talking to you. But here's the reality. Look what's happening in America. Financially, who do you want to blame? Let's talk about $44 billion being sent over to Ukraine, okay? I'm all about helping Ukraine to a degree. Now, people will say you got to watch out. Yes, of course you got to watch out. Zelensky has to look for the survival of his people. Would he put himself in bed with China? Would he put himself in bed with North Korea? Would he put himself in bed with someone else other than fact to fight the Russians? Who knows? But we take American tax dollars already in a negative deficit where we have the highest cost from all created money that has no weight to it whatsoever. And here we are. Take a dollar bill. What's your dollar bill? 6¼ inches, right? In length, 3.5 inches in height. In weight, right under a gram, which means literally the weight is not even worth what the dollar is. Now, I broke that down very systematically, and to do it in simple terms is basically for all the money that's out there that we have in America, it's not worth it. That's why you see credit cards at 20, 30%. Yes, there's some credit cards at 30-something% right now, believe it or not. We took the Fed. The Fed go ahead and raise the interest rate. The interest rate was raised by 0.75 2 times under 1 year. That's more times than any sitting president. Now, I'm not ragging on Biden. Y'all know where my beliefs are at. He's our president. The theory is I pray for him. I really do. I pray that he can lead us not into something that's getting worse and worse and worse, but that's not even it. Because at the end of the day, most presidents have handlers, right? So that's why I asked you when they say, your kids say, well, what do I want to be when I grow up? Be a farmer. Well, farmers have grain incentives. Of course, government comes in like they always do and they screw it up. Now, is government bad? No. Let's look at it. Government built the country, right? The country was built by government, by our forefathers, who wrote the Declaration of Independence, okay? And that being so, they introduced that as the freedoms and enablement of man and woman, any way you look at it, but that's what it is, man and woman. Freedoms. A pursuit of happiness. Freedom and happiness. Folks, we work today to make corporations and bosses richer than we could ever imagine they'd be rich, okay? Less than 3% of the world holds the highest amount of what the dollar value is worth. So when I say sow your seeds and you're looking at the idea, it goes to what? Go to school? I went to school. I'm going to break it down for you right now. I went to school to be an attorney just to get on a firm to get laid off. Yes, that happened. You want to know why? Because they're making measures already in cost of recession. So imagine this. What's recession? Where are we at? Are we in recession? They like you to believe that. Stop watching the news. Watch both. Watch Fox. Watch CNN. Watch MSNBC. Watch Bad Box. Watch all of it. Then read. And then look on the internet and look at Vice. Your self-education comes back of your self-worth. Okay? Doesn't mean I'm not going to find another job. Doesn't mean it's not there. But 6 years of school to get to $70,000, $80,000 when I mean more in the private sector, not even doing what I went to school for. Doesn't make any sense, does it? That's why I say farmer. It's a mentality. Plant your seeds. If you're going to spend money more than what you're bringing in, you've already messed yourself up. But then you go to people out there like Pickles Payne, right? I might as well call him Professor Pickles. Honestly, I love the boards he's bringing out and breaking it down for you. It's good stuff. And I know I keep pushing on this and pushing on, say, oh, he's just as bad as Mike, pushing on, Pickles and pushing on, the Credit Crusader and saying stuff about The Seeker. Yes, I am. I'll tell you why. They started on a platform they didn't have to go back, they weren't lying on. The education out that's being bought by General, the Credit Crusader, had CPNs and marketing ideas and zombie credit. All those things really do work. If you have a little bit more than what you have, why would you waste your money on something foolish where it's not going to go anywhere when you can invest in yourself and buy those things? Buy zombie credit. Create the CPN if you have a business that you're going to go with. If you can do it, okay? If you can navigate it. That's why the General's there to navigate you. The Credit Crusader is there to navigate you. And then you look at The Seeker, formerly known as Jim the Credit Guy. Jim put stuff out there he didn't have to. His education place, I mean, talk about a professor, like a master's, okay? He has stuff that he does, like, I crack jokes where he tells me to use my big words, right? It's true. Because I start cussing and swearing up a storm. And I can see him on the side of me looking at me, shaking his head. Use your words, David. True. But the truth be told, here we are today in America, okay? We are working our asses off to get nowhere. We just want to work our ass off to have a little bit to take our family out for dinner if you're just getting by, right? If you're doing well, our dads, if you're an 80s kid, your dad was going to be right at the cusp of the very end of the baby boomers, right? He could have a job that was considered minimum wage or a little above minimum wage, which was very decent back then, because recession, depression, those ideas were even involved. We hit up the last of the 70s. So people say, what's the thing that keeps rotating over and over again, right? So recession, I keep hearing recession. No, folks, chase the money. Recession hasn't even hit yet. It's going to start somewhere about first quarter of this year. And when it does, there's going to be not even the reaction that we're getting as much as inflation. If you believe what the government tells you inflation is at 9.1% right now. 9.1%. If you really do the math of what it costs of living, right? Gas, fuel, food, everything that you need, economy, things that they came in supply, right, that we're paying for. They have supply, but versus demand, you look at inflation. But that's the excuse they're going to use to jack up oil prices, right? Not true. It's all a scam at the end of the day because you're paying actually 18 to 20% in inflation. Your 9.1 is based off what the nominal families, what they have for a living. Okay? That's insane. I mean, you got to ask and go, well, if I'm using my credit cards to survive, you're digging yourself into a hole. I'm not saying go to government to get government assistance. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm making very clear to you, as an American, as a consumer, as a spender, if you're going to look at things to do when you get out of this, instead of wasting the money, what we just saw for the bailout for these kids that went to college, and here it is, who needs an Eastern European arts degree major, right? Who needs a philosophy major of the Renaissance? It's great, that's where history is at. Half these degrees that went over the last 30 years were degrees that were literally made up. And the banks were just funneling out. Hey, you know what, let's go to student loans, let's do this, let's do this. We had a student loan bailout. We had a bank bailout in 08. Does it ever stop? Is someone going to bail your credit out? Absolutely not, because that's what keeps you down. And that's the point to this message I'm telling you. If you have an issue with your credit, if your credit's been stolen, you've had identity theft, you got yourself in a bad hole, right? I'm not going to be like Mikey would say and not pay it. You can negotiate to get them down, but there's a better way, right? And say, well, okay, I'll pay partial of it. And then I'll do what I was told to do, where I can basically tell them if I make a payment, it shows paid in full as a paid off account. Charge off account, paid off account, doesn't matter. It's still the same thing. They're still not going to help you with your points. Take the money you have, right? Invest into Everything Credit. Go over to Everything Credit. Go to Pickles Payne. Go to David Payne Jr. and see what's going on. He's educating you on what he's doing in the process of how he's legally challenging the credit companies and organizations. Because think about it, you really have no representation. If you go to like these legal law firms and whatnot, you're literally in a pattern of 10, 15 years. I have personal friends of mine that have been in a pattern for 10 or 15 years of paying off their credit. And it's still like not going anywhere. Oh, we're going to consolidate. We're going to get a big loan. What do you think they're doing? They're contacting the agencies with bigger money and saying, hey, where can we shake hands behind, closed doors? What deal can we make with each other that helps and benefits your company and my company? And don't worry about them. They're making a payment off. We'll get their credit there eventually. You want quick results? Not for everybody it's going to happen. But you want quicker results. You want real results. Everything Credit. I'll say it again. Everything Credit. I'm a client. I'm a client and watch my credit just soar. One of my, seriously guys, I said this before, 500s. I think my highest one was 666. And then it went plummeting down because that's what Mikey did with his software or whatever at the time. Give that stuff to David Payne over at Everything Credit. He runs it, takes care of it, challenges, starts calling, nonstop, day in, day out. Man, one of mine on experience is 720. Okay, another one's at 664. TransUnion, they're a pain in the ass. They're still fighting stuff, but everything's at 600 and 700. It's slowly getting there, but in the media part of it, he did it in less than 2 months the first round. That was round one. That was intense. Round one, the numbers weren't that high. He's proved what he can do. This queen of credit, Todd Gibbons, all that bullshit. It's bullshit. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to kick yourself in the head. You're like, God, I want to do something about this. It's so petty, the courts won't even touch it. Look what it had to get to Mike to the FTC to get his ass dragged to court. And 2 of his attorneys already bailed out already. Okay? So now we're down to 13 or 12 attorneys left. Come on, guys. do the math. If you have a little bit of money, make the investment. If you're going to live off your credit cards, be smart about it. It's true. One thing I'll say, Mike said, I didn't say that before. Mike has some decent information in the videos, decent, but it's stuff you could have done your research on. Don't maximize your credit cards. Use 30%. Utilize 30% of your credit cards and pay them off on time, and guess what? Your points will go up every time, and especially if you have your credit being taken care of with David Payne. Because while you're doing that, he's going to tell you what to do. He's drawn up on the boards now, guys, the numbers, the way the system works. Credit sweeps are bullshit. Absolute bullshit, okay? Education sources, and you have a little extra money, if you're already fine, like you're in the 700s and you got a David Payne, he's gotten you up there, now you're like, hey, I got some extra money, I can do something. Go buy a work packet, go buy a program from over there at the General. Go to him, go to Credit Crusader, check it out. Go over to the Seeker. People are like, well, what the hell's the Seeker about? What's he about? Go watch some videos, find out what he's about. That's the whole point. He's seeking the truth to go through the bullshit where most of you don't want to educate yourself. If you got time to sit on the toilet and flip through your phone through Instagram and TikTok, you got time to educate yourself. And I keep saying this all the time. Take the time, read the news, know what's going on in the environment, figure out things that are happening on with your gross part of where you make your pay, and find out if you have a 401k, because 401ks are crap. Take the option, don't invest in that. Take that money aside that you take the 401k. Take out each time at the minimum. If you don't want to go to anyone I'm telling you to, take out part of it. Just say, I want to take out 10% of every my check, I'm putting in savings. It's not really going to go anywhere. It's not going to grow. But what I would suggest at that point is contact the Seeker and say, hey, I got extra money. What should I invest in? If you've already bought the workshops, you've already got the credit, you've already gone to David Payne Everything Credit, okay? He's fixed your credit. Okay, you're like, okay, now I want to build a business. I want to build a company. I want to figure out how to get some loans at a higher level, make $80,000, $100,000 loan that I know I can pay off with my business. Go over to our General, go to the Credit Crusader, buy a workshop, learn. If you're like, okay, I got money, I've done all these things now, and I want to invest some money. I don't want to sit in the bank at like what, our crappy ass 0.3% that it gains on a business account. Go over to the Seeker and say, what should I do with this? Where should I invest this money? Okay, that's a key thing. You know, we've always said before in this community of our Credit Crusader army, we always were there to help out each other. We've done the best we can to do that, okay? We get to a point where like you start to lose touch, you lose base, you don't make the calls anymore, you don't text the friends. We're still in the fight, we always will be, at our own levels, okay? We don't talk to each other every single day. We might as well text each other every day. I'll say that. We do text a lot with each other in this group. But the reality is, we're always constantly thinking, what could be better? How do we make it better? How do we help these people to get to the next level, okay? We had so many videos that would come in from everybody out there, what Mike did to them and whatnot, okay? And guys, you really won't believe this, but that jackhole is on TikTok. And now he's selling even a higher level of stuff. And God help his ass, because he's going to need someone to protect his ass when he goes to prison. That's all I got to say. But my point is, be a farmer. Okay? If you got extra money, you got kids, don't worry about the education. Education in America is 56th in the world in reading and 72 in math. We are the worst in the world. Our competitors and nations are beating us at the highest level. So you want to do something with your kid, help them invest to be a farmer. And when I say that, is buy land. Buy land. There's two commodities in the United States that we have. We sell trash at the highest level amongst anywhere else. People buy our trash from other countries. We make money that way, and real estate, land. Buy land. I don't care if the land's got nothing on it. And let's say it doesn't have an apartment building, doesn't have a house, whatever you want to call it. It's got something. Buy land. Land has value to it. That's the best investment you can make for your child. Buy land. For your family, buy land. Be a farmer. And when I say by that, it's metaphorical. Like, if you literally want to be a farmer, all power to you. I've had friends that have done it. I've had friends that were pot farmers. It didn't work out up in Humboldt County. They went to NorCal, and there are other kinds of farmers. Soy, beets, tomatoes, whatever you want to call it, right? The point to it is, be a farmer. Invest in yourself, invest in your family. Lay your seeds. Sow your oats, okay? Get some education on this. Go over there to Dave Payne Jr. and go there, Everything Credit, make that investment, okay? I'm telling you, get that education from our General Credit Crusader. You know, go to the Seeker. People are like, oh, these crazy whack superheroes. Guys, they started with these masks and these alter egos. They are superheroes. For what they've done for people, and I can attest to what they've done for people, they're my superheroes. I look at the Credit Crusader, I look at the Seeker, and man, they whoop some ass. They really do, okay? And not only that, you might get a chuckle out of the shit they're saying, but there's truth behind what they're saying, right? And I can't put out there with David Payne Jr. And he's doing God's work, no doubt. You ain't got this. People who are unemployed are contacting him. Come on, people. You're unemployed. You ain't got time to fix your credit. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But don't bitch and try to come back and go, what can I get for free? Guys, nothing is free 99. There's no free lunches here. That's the problem. We turn into a free state. It's not like home of the free, it's home of the fee. Because now people who didn't have an education process, think about this in the bailout, and didn't go to school are being forced now in the under 80,000 to 125,000 marker to pay a higher tax and 17% incentive on top to go back and cover that now, or the kids who are working in Starbucks and freaking Best Buy in areas where they have degrees, real degrees, and can't even apply them and find a job with them, and now they're getting a bailout. A bailout. Listen, $10,000. Would you like to have $10,000 in your pocket? I would. I absolutely would. But it ain't gonna happen. But I'm still out there, I'm still in the fight, it doesn't matter. See, the beauty of having the degree that I have and what I can do is I can travel anywhere just about and do this job. And I'll continue to do it. I'll keep hunting down scammers and pieces of shit who take money from people. And from time to time, I'm gonna leave a video about what I'm doing, what's going on. And from time to time, I'll tell you where to put your money at, or where you should put your money at. And I'm gonna give a testimony of what I'm doing. Things are gonna change on my platform a little bit. You're gonna start seeing other kinds of videos. So you pick and choose what you wanna watch. I invite in this community, watch, like, share, comment, tell me you hate my guts, say, man, that looks like crazy. Like, what you're saying is crap. Is it? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. So other than that, God bless out there. As I can say it again, guys, David Payne Jr., Everything Credit, get your ass over there. Educate yourself on our general, Credit Crusader. Watch some videos, see what's going on. You want some truth and fucking bottom line truth? Go to The Seeker. Other than that, y'all have a great night. Take care. God bless.